How about it, y'all? It's Daniel and Maddie with Nicholson Farms. Today we got a little project going on dealing with goats. We're going to do a little bit of fence work. We're going to get all our materials together real quick, and we'll go up to where we're working and we'll show y'all what we've got going on. I hope you enjoy the video and y'all stick around with us. Plan for the day is I've got some high tensile, a spinning jenny, some fence tighteners, and some insulators in the back of my truck. We're on the far side of our property. This is our perimeter fence. The goats are on the other side of this hill. This will be the next pasture that the goats go into, and this is probably our highest risk area for coyotes to come into the property, or stray dogs or whatever. This fence it's not quite as new as the rest of our fence. This was originally a cow pasture, but it's kind of grown up, as you can see, and so that fence is not quite touching the ground. So what we want to do is we're going to go along this fence and we're going to put a piece of high tensile about 4 to 5 inches off the ground all the way down. First, I'm going to take the tractor, and since this is kind of grown up, I'm going to bush hog a couple strips right beside the fence. Number one, I don't really want trees growing close to the fence, potentially messing it up. And also, I don't want any vegetation on the other side that the goats are trying to stick their heads through. So we'll go ahead and knock that out real quick, and then we'll bring you all along with us while we put this fence up, kind of explain to you what we're doing and why we're doing it. And I'm gonna put this girl to work today, so
the tractor driver.
Yeah, we'll get started, and I hope y'all enjoy the video. So I've already got it started. First thing we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put an insulator on this side that screws into the post. And then we're going to set up our spinning jenny, and we're going to run the wire all the way down. When I get down there, I'll put another one, and we'll go ahead and crimp that on there. I'll show you that in a second. But first, let's get this one tight and see if we can get some wire unrolled. For those of you that have never seen this, this is what a spinning jenny is. Basically, you put your wire on there, you set these, outside, tight. Set that out, keep your wire tight, and hold it in, and then we'll just grab a holder to the end after we tighten these down, and we'll just take off down the fence line. So we got that done. About tore my nerves up. There's two characteristics that I have. One of them being impatient, and the other one is I'm kind of cheap, and I think I'll just fix everything instead of buying new. That spinning jenny, I think she's been fixed too many times. It's about time for a new one. So I see one of those in our near future, but we got it rolled out. We're about to go down to the other end and put the insulator in and crimp the wire. I'll bring you down there and I'll show you that. And we're not too long from getting this wire tight and putting some insulators on it and getting it hot. Alright, so if you watched any of my other little fencing projects, you know that I'll always use crimps to fasten my wire together. It just looks a whole lot neater and it has a good strong hold. So what you're gonna do, I've made a mistake many times trying to do it first, but you slide this on first, you'll come through your insulator, you'll come back, kind of bend your wire a little bit, line the wire up, slide your other piece of wire through the other side of the crimp, pull back, slide it up. I always bend mine up, just because a lot of times I'm doing this by myself and I might have tension on that wire, and it kind of helps me hold it. And then around the matty, take my crimpers and it's got a slot just for this size. These things can be a pain sometimes. Get it in that slot, and I normally use the ground to help me out. And always kind of go down on it a couple times. Open it back up. Just crimp down. That wire shouldn't go anywhere. And with me putting that bend in there, even if that started to slip, that bend would catch. So then I'll just go back, cut that off clean, and I think that looks pretty good. We're about to crimp it again right here. I've been using copper wire, with regular electrical copper wire that's coated in plastic, to tie all my wires or my electricity together. But I've run into the problem with the copper actually corroding from the rain, so I'm going to slowly go back through all my fences, and I'm going to add high tensile going through my fence to my other wire. And I've got some plastic that I will put on there a little later whenever we hook the power up, and I'll show you that. And I'm going to have to cut that wire on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and put a crimp on it. So we'll go ahead and cut this, because my other wire is right through the fence where it's going to get power from. I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm going to cut off another piece. And then what I'm going to do is take my crimpers and try not to get shot, because that wire on the other side is hot right now. Slide it on. Put this one on. It's going to line up to where it's going to go through the fence. But I guess it's not going to matter because I'm going to put that insulator on there. I forgot about that. And my pliers. Helps when you have everything that you need all in one spot. But 9 times out of 10, that's not how I roll. We're just going to go back and we're going to crimp that right there. Come on, baby. So I'll put a piece of insulation on there that'll go through, and so the insulation will keep it from shorting out on my field fence, and then I'll end up cutting that wire and crimping this right into that wire. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take another crimp, actually I have to put on a tightener to get this wire real tight. We're just going to go ahead and use that since I got this wire cut here. So I will grab a crimp. Slide that on. Run that through there. Bend it around. Once again, I always bend my wire back just for a little extra strength whenever if this wire does get real tight and tries to slip. Cut that off, and that's good to go. Now we're going to take our high tensile. There's a little hole in there. All you're going to do is run that through. Bend my wire a little bit, catches. Whenever I go to start tightening up that wire, it's going to start going around. So this side's good, ready to go. We're going to go down to the other end. We're going to put another tensioner on there. We're going to have another cross wire in case something happens in between here and there. It's getting power from two different sources off that one wire. So hopefully this gives us a better chance of not shorting out. So we'll go ahead and run down there and we'll do that in. And then we're ready to put the insulators on and tighten it up. So we got all the ends done, and we're gonna go back through now and we're gonna put up the insulators, and then we'll put this wire in the insulators as we go, and we will get this wire tight. We're probably gonna call it afternoon. It's starting to get, sun's about going down. We've still got animals to feed, so we'll at least get it tight this afternoon, and then I'll come back tomorrow and I'll put that insulator through the fence and we'll get this thing hot. And we'll talk about it some more tomorrow, but we're going to put this wire in real quick and get it tight. So it's the next day now. Just got off of work and it's trying to rain on me, so I don't know how much recording I'm gonna do this afternoon. Just don't want to get my camera too wet. But we got that fence tightened yesterday, got the insulators on it, got it hung up. So what I got to do now is I need to drop the wire on the other side of the fence so I can tie that wire that's going to cross over in, and I'm going to do that real quick. I'm probably going to put it on time lapse. If it starts raining, I'm just going to cut the camera off and I'll show you what I did whenever I get done. So y'all stick with us. We're about to have this thing hot. This is what you just saw me doing. There's a little time lapse, but this is the wire that we split off of the wire that's about 3-4 inches off the ground on the other side of the fence. I have a piece of high tensile coming through that fence to tie these two wires together to make them both hot. And what I added was this piece of rubber. The wire just slides through there, and if I wouldn't have put that on there, that would be arcing out and shorting out on that field fence. And so I crimped it in on this one, and then this is where I had to cut the wire to get this crimp on. And as you can see, I talked a little bit about it yesterday, how I always bend my wires back. You saw me kind of struggling to get that wire back and forth, and that's why I do it. When I'm by myself, I go ahead and put the crimp on, bend one end. Whenever I'm struggling pulling that other wire through, all I gotta do is get it through that crimp, bend it back, and I can let go until I get the crimpers on it. That's also gonna allow me to really crank this wire tight without this crimp slipping. I could go through and put, 2, 3, maybe 4 crimps on there, but at that point, that's just wasting money. This is simple, and it'll take care of the job. So I've got one other end to do. I'm gonna run down there and do that real quick. I'm not gonna show you that. It's the same thing, and then I'll catch up with you and we'll get this thing hot. So I got the other end done, and I just walked the fence line again and checked our wire that we put up yesterday. That's it right here with the yellow insulators on this side of the fence. If anybody knows of any better insulators, please leave them in the comments. I'm really not happy with these that you get at Tractor Supply or any kind of feed store. The yellow ones, I think after a year or two, the sun just beats them up so bad they get real brittle. I'd like to find some black ones that you can get 2 inches or 6 inches even, but I can't seem to find them. Only black ones I can find is those little ones that get right by the fence, and you going on the outside of this net wire, that's not really ideal. But I figured it's ready to go. I'm about to go plug it up here in a minute, but I figured I'd go ahead and wrap this video up. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. I think I am gonna put us a trail camera up on one of these fence posts to see if what kind of critters are coming by here at night, if any. I don't know if we have coyote pressure or not. It's just something that I'd like to know, so I'm gonna put this camera up, and if I get any pictures of anything neat, I'll be sure to let y'all see them. But I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. I hope you like this little project. It's a project that I've been wanting to do, and I don't know if it'll actually deter a coyote, but it'll give me a little more peace of mind, help me sleep a little better at night, not worrying about these goats. But I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like, leave us a comment so we can interact with you. And we'll be doing some more videos here soon. So we'll be seeing you soon. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and we'll see y'all on the next one.